Hello, everyone. You're watching CCP Podcasting. Watch it, enjoy it, fun, love life, all room yours.
Good morning. What's happening, friends of CCP Podcasting? Welcome to this is our Saturday morning spectacular wrestling rivalries today. I'm Chris Page. The man below me is Eric Lariat Steele. What's going on, my man? How are you this morning?
I'm doing good, man. Ready to watch some wrestling. Glad to be back. How about yourself? How's everything with you?
So, fun fact, do you want to go ahead and apologize to those who are here live or catching us on YouTube? This is the first Saturday morning recording in the apartment from downsizing from the house. So, I have neighbors above me. I have neighbors below me. I have a 120-pound dog over to my left that you can hear munching on his food. Listen, we're going to see how this goes. I make no fucking promises. But listen, it's
Say, look,
going. It's going. I finally.
if they complain too much, tell them you won't fix their stuff.
I mean, superintendent of the building, you may not want to piss me off. That's all I'm gonna say. It's been like Jeff Jarrett, right? I just need the guitar hanging in the background. You want to wear a guitar necklace today, sweetheart? Try me.
Yeah.
It's been
Good on Behemoth, so
It's been a wild week. I'm not gonna lie. We moved last weekend, and I'm still getting acclimated and all that stuff. But I'm making it happen. We're making it happen. We got a lot of things happening on the channel. That's huge news for us. Let's go ahead and get our plugs out of the way. If you're gonna be around next Friday, the 29th of March, Skrilla will be live on the channel with us. We'll be taking questions. We'll be watching some wrestling next Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't checked out his Beyond the Bell, I really encourage you guys to go ahead and do that. He was our first to break 100 with the Beyond the Bell series, and Red Shaw has broken 100 as well. Travis Orndorff's on the cusp of it, and for us to have just really started doing that platform, I think that's really good. The metrics on the videos are really good. People are listening to them, they're watching them. And ultimately, that's what we want. We want to get the word out to those who may not be familiar that there's a lot of shit happening on the indies that is really solid. And truthfully, this adventure that we're taking all together is just one that continues to grow every day. So we're definitely looking forward to having Skrilla here next Friday night. That's the 29th, 7 p.m. We will be live with him. We've got our Beyond the Bell series that's rolling out weekly as of this show, The Beastman. We aired his live show yesterday over on the YouTube channel. We've had Travis Orndorff 2 weeks ago. Angus Dacey kicked off the month of March. We're going to close it out next Friday with a little violence. The Violent Gentleman Society. Tommy Jackson stopping by to chat with us a little bit about his career. And again, guys, I'm so sorry that the dog just cannot get himself situated and is going just ballistic. It's pissing me off. My tolerance is really low today. April is rock solid. We start off the month with Owen Knight. We've got Matt Sigmund, friend of yours, and now friend of the show, who will also be popping on for a live show in May. We have Emily Taylor on the 19th, and we're going to end the month with Cha Cha Charlie, who's out of Florida, down here in my neck of the woods, which, good stuff. And we have we're working on another, I think there's another 6 or 7 projects right now that we're working on. Future guests include Bryce Cannon, Rico Gonzalez. We're going to be talking to the Fed head of IWE out of Georgia. We've got Brohemoth confirmed yesterday. Eric, we're going to do a show with Eric here. We've got, I think there's a lot of things happening. We got a couple more guys out of Australia. Bobby Bishop is going to come and join us for Beyond the Bell. So this series is really picking up, and I couldn't be happier to sit down and talk to so many people, so many talented people, not just people, but so many talented people across the globe. It's almost surreal, to be perfectly honest. And the last thing I want to plug.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent out there, man.
No, go ahead. I didn't mean to step on you.
Oh no, you're good. Go ahead, man.
Just one more plug, and we'll get started with today's show. We'll set it up. Friend of the show and friend of yours, Matt Sigmund. We just talked about him a second ago. We've got his release coming up in April, kind of strategic to this event. April 26th to the 28th. He is hosting a wrestling camp with George South, Les Thatcher, future guest of the show, Chance Prophet, and others over at Net Pro Studios in Kingsport, Tennessee. They're taking 35 participants. It's a 3-day camp. It's not a one-day thing. This is a 3-day adventure, and I think they're taking 35 people. And of these people, of the guys and gals that show up, they're going to be putting on an indie show that Saturday night. I believe that's going to be on the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. And you're going to get in the ring. And this is actually taking place at beautiful Bobby Eaton Arena, which is another, to me, it's a beautiful thing, pun intended. You are familiar with more familiar with Matt and Chance and a lot of these guys than I am. So can you give anybody any kind of insight on what they may be learning or what they may be doing at the camp?
So I don't care how long you've been wrestling, how long you've been in the business. You're going to learn something from this camp. Brad Thomas is going to be there. Brad Thomas, if you look on Wikipedia, he is a member of the Midnight Express. He is one of the best baby faces that I've ever met. He doesn't wrestle anymore. He's a vocational minister now. But the only thing that ever kept Brad Thomas from being in WWE is his height. And he was in his prime during the John Laurinaitis years, so he was too small for him. Great guy, great worker. Sigmund, great guy, great worker. 4-time NWA tag team champions. Chance Prophet has been in over almost 30 years in the business, wrestled all over the country, international talent. You got George South and Les Thatcher, and I don't care who you are, you're going to learn something from them. You're not only going to learn something about wrestling, it is a Christ-centered camp. It doesn't mean you have to be a Christian to go, but it is Christ-centered, and it's just going to be a great time for everybody involved.
Oh, no doubt. We'll be circling around with Matt on a live stream in April. And actually, we strategically set up Chances Beyond the Bell to come after the camp so that we can get his thoughts on what, how it played out, what was going on, how many guys and gals, just et cetera. It should be a good time, man. And really and truly, I wish that I could pick the brain of Les Thatcher for 3 days. Give me 3 days with that, man. Like I would be a kid in a candy store. But
and George South. So
absolutely.
I'm sorry. I want to give one more thing. So George South, if you ask any of the Mid-Atlantic guys or any of the '90s WWF guys, you say who was the best jobber of all time, and handsome talent, carpenter, whatever term you want to use, they're going to say George South is either going to be the first or second name that comes out of their mouth. George is also such a good trainer. Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat, Bobby Eaton all sent their kids to get trained by George South. So that's saying something right there.
Absolutely. The living legend here in the South, no doubt about it. Just out of argument's sake, if he was number 1 or number 2, who would be the second name, in your opinion? Because I agree with George South being number 1 or number 2.
Yeah.
Who do you think would be the other guy?
Barry Horowitz.
You think Barry?
Barry Horowitz.
Oh,
yeah, that's what I would say, but that's also like what you normally hear most people say.
I'm gonna stick to the South, and I'm gonna say Action Mike Jackson.
Or the Malkies, depending how far back you want to go.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, as this adventure of ours continues to grow, we're going to have a lot more stuff to plug as we go. We're really doing this, day by day, and you're doing something right when you get some haters out there, and we've got a couple of those over on YouTube. I was going to meant to talk to you before we even took the air, but I almost want to come up with a segment, Hater of the Week, and throw their comment up and talk about how pointless it is for them to make it. And if we had to do it this week, it'd be on a gentleman who dropped the comment about traveling to Japan with Brody and Hanson over on the Stan Hansen video, and makes him like fucking at least 65. So, you know, are you go scream, get off my lawn at somebody else, man. Uh-oh, what happened?
I'm back. I don't know who got dropped, me or you or all of us.
We're here. Trying to make sure we did not. Okay, we're still live. I was trying to make sure that the stream didn't drop, and it shouldn't be me. I upgraded my internet intentionally.
In the words of Jim Ross, we're live, pal.
Nice. There you go. You got that fucking vicious. But ultimately, you know, I do want to preface this. If you're watching any of our programming, I do want to preface it with we're not here to be experts. We're not here to be anything more than fans watching the shows back and watching the programming back and contrasting and comparing to some of the stuff we did when we were in the ring. If you have a problem with that, then you probably need to go away. Like, this channel's not going to be for you. If you expected us to be, you know, Conrad Thompson and company, no, that's not it. This isn't even. I wouldn't even consider this a podcast. I would consider our Beyond the Bell a podcast. I would consider this us sitting down and talking shit about professional wrestling. If you call that a podcast, okay. We call it having fun. And we're going to continue to have fun, whether people like it, love it, or hate it. It is what it is. Our show today, man, we talked about you and I get together pretty much weekly. Hey, what do you want to do? You want to do a legend show? Do you want to do a rivalries? Do we want to do a territory? Just try and just switch it up, keep it moving. We settled on a rivalry, and of course, then the next question is, hey, man, what do you want to do? Who do you want to talk about? What do you want to look at? Ideas start going, they start being thrown out, and there were several. You threw out some really good ones, and we settled on going back to Smoky Mountain Wrestling with the Rock and Roll Express and the Heavenly Bodies. This one was handpicked by you as far as the rivalry itself, so you set it up. What makes this rivalry so special for you?
So when you think Smoky Mountain Wrestling, this is probably that I think about first. Either Rock and Roll and Gangsters or Rock and Roll and Heavenly Body are the first two feuds I'm going to think of. Heavenly Bodies are as close to, you know, the beautiful. I can't even talk to you. Are as close to Midnight Express as you're going to get. I mean, one of the matches we've got even has the Stan Lane version of the Heavenly Bodies. They're just great matches. They were still kind of like old school, but they had a lot of modern wrestling for the time, I should say. Modern for the time. We're going to watch their marathon match, Iron Man match, as most people know it. It's got one of the best finishes I've ever seen in wrestling. Some people might think it's hokey, but I think it's awesome. It's very realistic. We're just going to see some great tag team wrestling, which I'm a big mark for.
I mean, you and me both, brother. We all know my stance on tag team wrestling. I think that it's the be-all, end-all to a degree. Let's get started. We've got, you mentioned earlier, we are going to watch the Iron Man match. That is about 55-ish minutes, give or take. We got two other matches that we're going to watch beforehand to kind of get us there. And you hit the nail on the head. So when I was pulling stuff, and I knew that we were going to do the Iron Man when I saw it, like the other options was the Loser Leave Town cage match, the chicken wire cage, which I really thought about. But for time purposes, I couldn't get it into this one. We may watch that one. You and I just may watch it privately and throw it out there at some point. But I did want to get a match that had Stan Lane, because in the early incarnations of the Heavenly Bodies in Smoky Mountain, Stan Lane was a part of it. And I personally, up until I started, rewatching some Smoky Mountain stuff about a year or so ago, I forgot Stan Lane even did a Heavenly Bodies run. And I think it was the Arn Anderson Rock and Roll 6-man that I was like, why Stan out here? And he's a part of the Heavenly Bodies. Okay, cool. So before anybody drops a hate comment, understand that when Smoky Mountain Wrestling was on television, I was like 9. So I'm not going to remember Stan Lane being a part of it. But I wanted to pull a match that did have him in it just because, it's fucking Stan Lane. How can you not? And the chemistry that he has with the rock and roll is nuts. Let's go ahead and get started. This one should be at the 2 minute and 5 second mark.
I'm ready, man.
3, 2, 1, play.
Good, man. That was hot.
Yeah, I'm going to put a pause on that. I'm not sure what Cottle's talking about, but we're going to move into the next match. 1994, February 5th. The Bodies versus the Rock and Roll, and I think Del Rey's involved with this one, if I'm not mistaken. Should be at 12 minutes.
What about 6:39 on that one?
No, this is
give me some.
This is 12:05 start time. The 6:39s for the Iron Man.
Okay.
Let me know when you're
Is
ready.
it 12:05?
Yes, sir.
I get a lot building up to it, isn't there?
Oh, there's so much Gaga. I just couldn't.
Morristown, Tennessee. Also, I love that the Frankenstein music for the Heavenly Bodies.
They both teams were in the ring, I think, at like the 5 minute mark. So there was a whole 7 minutes of just nothing. Powdering.
All right, I'm good to go when you're ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Little fan cam footage here.
Oh yeah, this is Armstrong Alley
Looks
over
like
on YouTube.
Man, like, it's a shame that Smoky Mountain didn't get to stick around longer, you know? They had so much talent that came through there.
It was nuts, and think about the talent that was there, and you know where they went. A large part of the rosters went up north to the WWF at the time. I mean, let's be fair.
They had a lot of young guys.
T.L. Hopper wasn't a big draw up there, but you know the Dirty White Boy was down in Smoky Mountain.
Yeah. Same with Tracy. They stick him with Freddie Joe Floyd, you know. But I mean, look at the young guys that came through there too. Kane, Al Snow,
Candido.
Lance Storm, Chris Jericho, Candido. Like, so many young, talented guys that came through there. And then, like, he had some other guys that he used really well too that, you know, weren't necessarily over other places like Bruiser Bedlam.
Tim Horner.
He was a big draw there. Yeah, Tim Horner. Tim Horner kind of had, you know, a decent run like Mid-Atlantic. Well, I guess in WCW by the time he was there as a younger guy. It might have been Mid-Atlantic. But, you know, he was definitely better used, I would say, in Smoky Mountain than those other places, you know. He's underneath guy there before. And he also, had the worst entrance music ever. Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love Garth Brooks, but Thunder Rolls, not a good entrance song. Like,
it does not scream get up off your feet. It's too slow paced. Hell of a song though, but yeah, not for a babyface.
I love me some Garth. Garth is my favorite country singer of all time. Love me some Garth. Also, best concert I've ever been to.
I passed on opportunity to see him live, and I regret it.
Yeah, I'd go see him again for sure.
Oh, Del Rey.
So he did this is Charleston, West Virginia, so it's small town. But he did 5 or 6 shows from like a Friday to a Sunday at the same arena. So he did one like Friday night. I think he did 3 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. Sold every single one of them out. I went to like the Saturday night one, and it was killer.
Shout out to you, Goth. We see you in chat. Good morning.
What's up, Goth?
Well, afternoon for you.
Yeah. You gotta think like there's guys that went on to ECW from Smoky Mountain too, like the Gangsters, you know, D'Lo Brown. That's where D'Lo Brown was discovered here. Lance Storm would kind of go on to ECW. There were some other guys like Balls Mahoney was in Smoky Mountain before he was in
Boo Bradley.
ECW. Yep. Candido went on to. Well, no, he didn't go to ECW. He went to WWF next, and then to ECW. And there's guys that like would go to WWF and it didn't really work out for him, and would go to ECW like Tracy with the full-blooded Italians. So in USWA, they did the Nation of Domination before they had the Nation of Domination in WWF. And it was kind of like the full-blood Italians when we think about it, because you had all these guys that weren't African in it. Like you had a couple that were, like Reggie B. Fine was in it. But then you had like PG-13, and you had Tracy, and they would change their names. So like Tracy's name was Shaquille Ali. I just remember like thinking that was the funniest name. His name was like Shaquille Ali. And it was and then they made it very serious in WWF, but it was entertaining at the time.
We're gonna have to do a Legends on Tracy Smothers.
Oh yeah.
Goth, you've come in on the Rock and Roll Express and the Heavenly Bodies. Our next match is actually our main event because it is a Iron Man match between the two teams. Oh, look at that, Ricky. This crowd's here for it.
Oh, so it had Sir Mo in it, had Miss Jacqueline, and a couple, it had Wolfie D and JC Ice. Had Brackus in it, apparently was in it.
Oh my God.
And it had the guy just went by Elijah, but it was the same guy that was Spellbinder or Fantasio. And he had a little run as Fantasio. But he's like of Latino descent.
He was Spellbinder was the one that would throw like the webs out at you. Right? Isn't that who that was?
Yeah, he did like them, and he would like he would do fire. He's the guy that Tom Pritchard, not Tom, Dr. Tom's brother, Bruce Pritchard, talks about almost set him on fire with some liquid flame in the gorilla position, set gorilla position on fire. So Bruce Pritchard hated him forever after that. And I remember watching USWA thinking like the Spellbinder gimmick was cool.
Yeah, I did watch back some stuff with the Spellbinder. I can't remember. I think I did it in October for like the Spooky Gimmicks show.
Yeah, doing like the. Yeah, I think he was one of the guys. I suggested I was going to be on that show. I don't remember what happened. I couldn't make it, but that was definitely one. That's the message for the Spooky Gimmicks. I think like the magician thing is a cool gimmick that you just haven't really seen done too well. Like he did it all right in USWA, and then that guy Ace Austin, is he still on TNA?
Yeah,
I know he's an Impact. So like he used to have like a magician type gimmick. I don't know if he's still doing that or not. But when I first saw him in MLW, that's always like his gimmick was like he was a magician, and he would do some cool spots like how he had the staff you could make appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
There's one, like the first time I ever saw him, a guy went to do like a splash or something off the top rope, and he just like brought the staff out, and the guy like instead of landing on the boot, he like landed on the staff, and I was like, oh, that's a cool gimmick. Like I think a magician gimmick could work,
Your favorite gigolo is healing it up in the ring right now.
He is. Jimmy Backlund.
I'm waiting for the gigolo shimmy. So
You love it. And he was really he was a solid worker, man.
It just kind of came out of nowhere for me. But of course,
he did. So
go ahead.
I was gonna say he was wrestling as Jimmy Backlund before that, and he wasn't like in any major promotions or anything like that. I don't think.
Please tell me that he was trying to, like, play a distant relative of Bob Backlund. Tell me that was the thing.
Let me look and see here.
I feel like that.
So he started out in championship wrestling from Florida in the 80s as Jomo Kenya. Then he was Jimmy Backlund and tagged with Bart Sawyer as the Playboys. They're Florida Championship Wrestling Tag Champions. Second here. He worked for FMW in 91. Then he went to WWF as Jimmy Richland. Like he did a couple of jobs for them. And then he came to Smoky Mountain and just got, when Stan left, they made him Jimmy Del Rey, the Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey. And he was there.
He had a good run down there.
Yeah. Then he was in, I didn't know he was in ECW.
What?
From like 95 to 96. I did not know that, man. You learn something new every day. So the Heavenly Bodies made several appearances in ECW in December 95 as members of Raven's Nest. In December to Dismember Ultimate Jeopardy, on December 9th, the Heavenly Bodies faced Raven's enemies, the Public Enemy. I want to dig that up, man.
Why do I feel like that didn't end well for the Heavenly Bodies?
So they eventually disbanded when Tom Pritchard went back to the WWF. Del Rey did like one more match against Bubba Ray Dudley. Then he went to WCW from 96 to 97. I mean, who wasn't at WCW from 96 to 98, So he had a run in the Cruiserweight division in October of 96. He's got matches with Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman. He was in World War III 96, and he retired.
Yeah.
And he was one of the trainers at Steve Kern's school in Florida.
Well, at least he's still involved. Or is that up
Yeah.
to date? Yeah.
Apparently he passed away
Oh.
in 2014.
So 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
December 2014.
Probably should have
Had a heart attack.
before I said, oh, he's still doing it today.
Yeah. So he was training, until he passed away from 97 to 2014 in Florida. Well, he retired from training wrestlers 2013, opened his own business. But yeah, no, I did not know he was in WCW or in ECW, so.
He sounded like he had a good string of matches with some solid talent down there.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was good. He just kind of came out of nowhere with the Heavenly Bodies run.
I love Robert out here on the apron trying to just be like,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what to do. So I'm just turning around. It's like, I don't.
Oh, Mark Curtis got hit with the double drop kick.
Oh, wait. I'm not
Well,
on.
they didn't hit Tom Curtis. They hit Tom, and Tom bumped into Mark Curtis.
I'm not there. I'm on a double atomic drop spot.
Are you ahead of me or you're behind me?
I'm
at 24:30 something.
Oh, yeah. You're about 30 seconds ahead of me. How that happened, I don't know.
Oh, Cornette just smacked a fan in the front row with his racket.
Oh, we got something to look forward to. I'm coming to the double drop kick spot, I think. Yeah.
I'll pause it. Let me know when you get to 24:59.
Okay. I'm at 24:20.
Cornette smack a fan in the face with his racket a little bit. Morristown's still a hot wrestling town too, man. That Johnson City area is still big. So Kingsport, where Sigmund's having his camp, is in that Tri-Cities area there with Johnson City and Bristol. So that's still a big hotbed of wrestling, man.
I'm at 48, 49, 50, 51. Cornette clocked the fuck out of him. He hit
Oh,
him
where are we at now?
sideways with that bitch.
I'm at 25 even.
Oh, I'm at 25, 05, 06, 07,
All
08.
right.
Yeah, I think the match is over.
Yeah, it's pretty much over anyways. We're throwing this out. So look, there's police down there. It's we better take us home before Jimmy gets killed.
It's just like
Yeah, Moorestown is in that Tri-Cities area, man. It's still a hot wrestling town.
motherfucker. Whack. Look, you know it's sitting right next to me.
Yeah. You know it means business when he turns it sideways and hits you with it.
Got the corny autograph right next to me. Oh my god, that was crazy. You know, it was that moment of hesitation too. He's like, "Do I do this? Yeah, fuck it."
He did that hard. Get away from me.
Oh my goodness, that was too much. That was too much for a Saturday morning. I'm trying to be quiet.
Some Saturday morning cartoons. Oh man! So we got the Iron Man match next.
Yes, sir. Let's get there.
On match.
6 minutes 39 seconds should be your start point.
I'm good to go.
Let's go in 3, 2, 1, play. As this one's getting started, let me step away real quick. I'll be right back, and I hope that Hulk does not get crazy.
We're in that Johnson City area here. Look at I like how he kicked it, Cornette, in that lockup. Cornette in the red bodysuit there. Oh, what happened? Okay, it's the video. I thought something happened on my end. I just restarted. That's what happened. Pull his tights, ref. Them shaving time.
Well, let's shave 2 minutes right there. Every time I announce the time, I'm putting the time up on the screen.
Red Slim is Cornette's waist goth. I don't know if that suit slims anybody. That's you tell this is fan cam because it is definitely not the hard cam side. That's not how they would have set up that cam to show these empty seats. Rock and roll pulling a little twin switch on him. How did I tell you? Yeah. Look at that crowd's a bunch of liars. They did not tag. Oh, nice. Ah, there we go. Turnabout's fair play there.
How many times have you seen that guy?
Pulling off is doing all the old heel tag spots. Oh! No, Bo and Blake were the Beverly Brothers, Goth. That was Mike Enos and I can't remember who the other Beverly brother was. Let me. Had that finish that would almost kill people. Yeah, Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom. Good. Not a bad team, really. Their finisher was very dangerous.
Welcome all the new folks who's popped in to watch a little rock and roll and heavenly bodies with us. We're on our, this is our main event.
Yeah.
This is that Iron Man match. I'm kind of surprised that the crowd's not bigger, man.
So this is definitely not the hard cam side. This is the fan cam side. So if we had that hard cam, I've seen the hard cam version of this match, and it's packed on the hard cam side.
Gotcha. That's all I need to know.
You know, we've seen a lot of great mullets in our time filming these shows.
Yes.
And I mean, you got rock and roll here, so you got creme de la creme mullets. But I think we need to take just a moment to appreciate Mean Mark Curtis's mullet.
Those luscious locks are just tremendous.
Yes.
It
was curly and bouncy.
I'm so clipping that for a short. He's got like you could almost just push on it.
Yeah. I wonder if he put Soul Glow in it.
Whatever he puts in it, it did the job.
If anybody knows what I'm talking about with Soul Glow. Just let your soul glow. Feel the love so silky smooth.
Here we are, Eric Steele breaking out into song and dance live on Twitch.
Coming to America is one of the funniest movies of all time, man. So. Look, now he's gonna catch. They've been doing a lot of Gaga in these opening matches too. Like he's gonna know they didn't tag. I feel like getting the crowd involved in matches like they would here is kind of, you don't see that very often anymore. I mean, you see it on the indies some still, especially in the South, but I feel like it's kind of missed, because they were. Listen to how into it they are, because they feel like they're involved, like they're part of it.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. You get the fired up crowds on the indies, and you get some of the occasional fired up, markets. Period. Like Chicago's always been a wrestling town. It always will be a wrestling town.
Yeah.
Same can be said. Well, this is what's surprising is I once would have said that Toronto was one of those towns. But I mean, I'm not. Who am I? First of all, nobody. So this comment that I'm about to make is just my own personal opinion. It baffles my mind to see that AEW can't go up there and sell it out.
Well, yeah, never mind. We're not going to talk about it. They don't. They. When's the last time they sold an arena out? You know.
Fair point. Sting's last match, maybe.
I'm not. Yeah, they might have sold that out. I don't know. But I'm not trying to mock them. You know, like
No, not at all.
I hope they sell all their arenas too. I hope WWE and AEW.
They need
anybody
to,
sells out their
because
arena.
It makes I don't. While I have my own views and opinions on AEW, I don't want them to fail, because then that takes away a place that a lot of guys and gals are working and making a living. That's not what I want.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some of their stuff's just real.
They're coming to Charleston. They're coming to my town next month. Like the week after Mania, I think, is when they're here.
Tag Tony
what's their
Khan,
Wednesday
it's
show?
a dark match.
Yeah, do that. what's their Wednesday shows at Dynamite?
Yes, Dynamite. Dynamite's on Wednesday.
I'm pretty sure it's Dynamite. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's the one that's coming.
Cornette's out here on the floor in his ring gear, so there may be some sort of caveat stipulation here that sees him get in the ring.
Okay. Yeah, apparently they're doing Dynamite and Rampage all together.
Okay. Yeah, that's... I don't know. I don't remember the last time I sat down and actually watched a Rampage show. I don't know when the last time I actually sat down and watched an AEW show was. I guess it's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be honest, like the last one, and the WWE is the same way. This is when I kind of really stopped watching some of their stuff. Like, I don't have 7 hours to watch a wrestling pay-per-view. And it just gets to a point where it was real tedious just to get through a show. I cannot remember for the life of me the last AEW pay-per-view I ordered. The motherfucker started at like 7.
I've never watched...
Didn't end.
I've never watched any of them.
No.
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. I'll be right back.
Come on. Do you think? Del Rey took a powder out to the floor. I love Cornette and his, I call that his Kool-Aid attire. Looks like we have 45 minutes left in the match. R&R is up 1 fall to 9.
All right, I had to get my computer plugged up there.
Yeah, no worries. I'm having to keep I just had to go get the charger for mine. I'm on call. It's like, oh, I have less than 10%. I should probably put.
I thought I had mine plugged up. Like, I thought I had mine plugged up, but apparently it wasn't plugged up. So, man, like, just looking at AEW tickets, they're like much cheaper than when WWE's in town.
Well, we're gonna get you on a dark match there. That's a goal.
Let's do it.
Well, here's a fun fact while we're watching this fan cam kind of get it together. And cheating by Morton, who throws him over the top rope. Behind the referee's back.
Yeah. They've been doing a lot of heelish stuff in this match, man.
I mean, is it really heelish, or are they just giving it back?
Yeah, that's right. It's turnabout's fair play, like I said earlier. Well, you were away. They're just doing to them what they've done to, you know, it's giving it back. You're right.
Yeah,
You can't even talk this morning.
Giving it back. Give it right back to them. I start shooting Hope is Wonderful with Travis Orndorff later on today. It should be a fun adventure for our channels to collaborate together on.
That's a like more of a mental health than he's not really talking about wrestling, like a mental health, positive outlook type deal, right?
Yes, but we had a call Wednesday. Actually, no, we talked Wednesday for a couple hours, but we talked a week or so ago. Prior to that, and what we were going to do, we both kind of feel like was maybe not the right move to make. So it's going to be a positive.
Yeah.
It's going to be a positive outlook show, but it's going to be based on a lot of different things, not just mental health or trying to get those who, if you're addicts, getting them pointed in the direction of help, any kind of situation. But now it's just going to be more of a. It is going to be very similar to that. But it's going to be kind of more of a positive outlook situation where we'll be talking to all kinds of different guys and gals, or he will, rather. I'm just producing it, but he'll be talking to all kinds of different people who have either gone through some serious adversities and challenges, and figuring out how they got past it and moves that they're making moving forward, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll loop that into whatever topic week that is, if that makes sense. So I can tell
I
you.
think that's a good idea, man.
I can tell you the first two shows. Well, I can tell you the first show. I'm not going to tell you the first two shows. I'll tell you the first show. It's going to be entitled Travis Orndorff versus himself. And we'll lay the foundation for what the series is going to be about off of today's episode. And then we're filming the second episode today as well, which will have a guest on it. Not a wrestler or anything like that, but we may be talking to some of them. We'll see. It's not a wrestling related situation. But there may be obviously tie-ins because of just who he is. I really think that it's gonna be very beneficial in the long run, and I think that the overall message is what is going to be the driving factor behind it. It's gonna be good stuff. First episode drops April the 5th.
It sounds like it's gonna be really good, man. It's good that you're using the platform and the talents to help people too.
Yeah,
it's always good.
I mean, we started out with a concept, and like I told him, I was like, the thing about podcasting is you don't have to be married to anything. Look at what we've done on our channel. We started out doing the watch-alongs, and then started to come up with concept shows like the spotlights and the full show watch-alongs. To now, Legends of Wrestling, which is a series, the Extreme Icon series, Territories, Rivalries, etc. You're not married. Let's say you're not married. We're not married to one particular thing, but by starting out with a concept, the ideas continue to get bigger, right? And the show that we put on are more formatted. And if it doesn't work, we don't have to stick to it. We can move on to another concept. Same thing said for that with his shows that are going to be coming forward. It's going to be good, I think, though.
I mean, it definitely sounds like it's going to be good. I'm being interested. I'll have to check it out. I said I don't know if Sigmund still does something like that. He had something sort of like that. But it's a good idea, man. There's a lot of people out there that need help.
Yeah. Go off and answer your question. It will be on YouTube, and it'll be airing on the Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff account, and it'll be airing on our Fireside account, on our CCP Podcasting account on YouTube. So we'll be jointly producing it the whole way around. Our page targets a different audience than his does. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's different things that. Different avenues, basically, to put it out. It's going to be good.
Look, Heavenly Bodies going to get caught cheating. They can catch Rock and Roll, but they're going to catch the Heavenly Bodies, I bet you.
Oh, of course. They have 45 minutes to kill, bro. They gotta.
Yeah. Gonna tell a story somehow.
That's the only
Keep 'em
thing,
with
man.
it.
I did a loop of Iron Man matches. I hated them. It was.
I'm not a
just-
fan of them, man. Like, to me, an Iron Man match is kind of like a NBA basketball game. You only need to see like the last 3 minutes, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's getting to the last 3 minutes. that's challenging.
Yeah.
They're just drawn out. They're stinkers. God.
Like, I'd rather you just give me, like, if you want to do a match that long, just make it an hour-long match. You don't tell me it's going to be an Iron Man match, because then I don't really need to see anything until the end. Like, I remember, so CM Punk and Chris Hero, they had a feud going on in IWA Mid-South, and they did a 2 out of 3 falls match, and they did a 90-minute time limit draw in that 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't think they ever did an Iron Man match, though.
Damn. I'll have to find that for Wrestling
Oh.
Request Live.
It might be out there somewhere. I remember watching it once.
Sorry if you hear Polk in the background. He's nom-nomming on himself. Oh, here comes Ricky. He's firing back.
Yeah, he's getting hot.
We'll talk about good hair, man. Tom Pritchard had a good set of hair.
Yeah, he did, and he was always flipping it around. That was big heat. I mean, there's just a lot of good hair in this match, except for, I don't know, Jimmy Del Rey definitely got the worst hair in the match, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, it's not even a question.
Not even a question.
I have my eyes on Cornette because I totally want to see him side shot somebody with the racket again. I can't believe he turned that bitch sideways.
That's when he was serious. I mean, that's the part that's going to hurt. You turn it sideways and him with the metal frame. Rock and roll.
The only good thing about right now about this Iron Man match, or not the only good thing, it's good wrestling, don't get me wrong, but one of the good things about it is the fact that you've got an hour to kill and you got the best seller in the business in the ring with you.
Yeah, for sure.
Ricky's gonna
One of
make
the-
it fucking entertaining.
Yeah. Arguably the best babyface of all time. You know?
I don't even know if that's an
Look at that,
argument.
nice.
When you go back to the story about the NWA Championship when they were going to put it on him, but we're going to go ahead and get rid of Robert. Just gave it back to him. It's about being selfless.
So Ricky will tell you, oh man, who was it? He says, I feel like it's Ken Wayne. Ricky says was the best babyface. And you'll get the argument of Steamboat in there and sometimes, but like to me, Ricky's the best babyface.
Yeah, we know how much you love Steamboat.
I should have known when I mentioned his name.
You walked into it, and then you left it hanging with Ricky. What are you talking about? Of course I'm going to walk through that door.
Yeah. Water's so cold. Rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the bodies right now, I mean, even though we're down one, we're sitting pretty. We still have 30 minutes. There's no rush.
They're wearing them down. Like Steve Urkel and Laura Winslow wearing them down.
Did I do that?
Nice small package.
Oh, wait. Where are you at?
I am at 30:03.
How are you 30 seconds ahead of me, man?
I don't know. Like, did you time lapse or something? Let me pause it. Let me know when you get to 30:12.
I will let you know when I get to 30:12. I'm at inside cradle right there. I'm at 30. 37, 38, 39, 30, 10, 30, 11, 30, 12. Double axe handle by Del Rey.
Oh, no, I can't. Should have done his gigolo shimmy while he's up there for the people to see.
I'm so glad I missed it.
He should have done his oh,
30 minutes.
March 12th, 1994.
This match has really been a lot of wear down submission.
Yeah, it has. I think, hey,
Rest.
the crowd been chanting rock and roll the whole time, though.
Well, let's look in the face.
Is he gonna turn it? Is Ricky gonna? He did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. You're not gonna call that, Mark? That should be a DQ right there.
It should be up 2 falls. Look at Corny. Get in on the action there.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you see it.
In that beautiful red suit.
Hollywood Zap with a raid. Thank you, Zap. We appreciate that. Hey, DD, how's it going? And welcome to the closing match of our rivalry show here. Appreciate the raid. Panda Zap sent you. Welcome.
Oh no, he's not going down.
Not at all.
Little jawbreaker action.
We're about
Make that tap to Robert.
We're about 30 minutes into a tag team Iron Man match. The Rock and Roll Express is up 1 fall to none over the Heavenly Bodies right now. There's your hot tag.
Got the roll. Boom. Are we going to do 2 separate heats?
Oh, we're going to have
Makes
to.
sense.
There's 30 minutes. Yeah, we're going to have to do 2 heats on this. Insecurity.
Boom, Insecurity.
Robert. Oh, the racket. The racket. Corny got him with the racket.
He hit him in the back like he was a fan in the front row.
He sure did.
Nope, they tied it up with that.
They did. 1-1 here. Oh, there's no waiting. Tom Pritchard says, fuck that.
Oh, no rest period.
Oh, okay.
Oh. Headbutt to the nether.
Shout out
gaze.
Goth for that gift sub.
Now they're going to wear Robert down.
Yeah, they are. It's only a smart strategy.
I'm sure Cornette laid out the plan. You know, he's a master strategist.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah.
Strategic
My English is not
master
good today. I don't know what's going. I don't know what's wrong with me. I've used all my words for the week, I guess. I'm like a cell phone plan with so much data. I've used all my words.
Oh my God, Del Rey in with the elbows.
Give us the gigolo dance, Jimmy.
Do not do the gigolo dance, Jimmy. Do not. Nobody wants to see that shit. Dude,
The people
crowd
love it. It gets them going.
They're still with the rock and roll chant.
Yeah.
This is 1994 too, by the way, guys.
They've been into it the whole time.
Oh.
Racket shot. Seen the racket shot quite a few times in here.
Well, the best racket shot, again, was from the match previous. What a...
Oh, here you go. Oh, no, he's on jumping jacks. I thought he was about to do the dance for you.
No, I would have closed my eyes. It's not even comical. It's just terrible.
Would you rather watch Paul Roma or Jimmy Del Rey do the gigolo dance?
Well, that depends. Are we watching Roma and Orndorff? Because if so, then I could get away with watching some Roma. But if it's not Roma and Orndorff, then I think I'd choose...
Just Roma by himself.
I think I'd choose death. I don't think I want to see either one of them.
I wish we had a Heavenly Bodies Pretty Wonderful tag match.
Oh man, that'd be interesting for me.
Well, there's a lot of good tag teams in the early '90s.
Yeah, no, there was.
Like I remember watching WCW and like the tag division. Like you had Too Cold and Buff, and then it went to Buff and the Patriot Stars and Stripes. I loved me some Stars and Stripes as a kid. You had Pretty Wonderful. You had the Nasty Boys. You had was it the Bunkhouse Boys? Is that what they called them, or were they just Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater?
Oh my God! Why would you would ask me that?
I'm pretty sure it's Bunkhouse Buck and Dick Slater.
Yeah, maybe. But
Then
I feel like
there's
they
like
had
a lot of good. There's a lot of good. Yeah, Cactus Jack and Max Payne for a little while. Public Enemy eventually made their way in there. Public Enemy was over with me as a kid, man. But like WCW Worldwide had killer tag matches for a long time, man.
Goff is referring to the worst War Games match ever.
Which one?
I believe it was the Nasty Boys and Dustin Rhodes with Dusty Rhodes taking on Harlem Heat. Oh no, they had the wait. No, whichever one has the Shockmaster in it.
Oh, that was Harlem Heat, Sid, and I don't remember who their partner was.
Was it Vader?
Against Sting, Davey, the Shockmaster, and let's see. It's worth a Google.
Goss lucky he didn't get fired for bringing that up.
Dave the So we'll check it out here.
Oh, raked him across the eyes. For those new to the channel, if you
so it was Sting.
Hang on one second, Hoss. For those new to the channel, if you look above my head, you're going to see a lot of scrolling graphics. If you head over to our YouTube page, we do a Beyond the Bell series, and these are all upcoming shows with talents all over the world that we'll be sitting down and talking to and chatting with about their journey and their careers. Fun times if you're a professional wrestling fan. Link down below, YouTube. Go ahead, Eric, sorry.
You're good. It was Sting, Davey Boy Smith, Dustin Rhodes, and Shockmaster with Road Warrior Animal for some reason. The Sid Vicious, Vader, and Harlem Heat. Before, when they were still Cole and Kane, they weren't even Booker T and Stevie Ray yet. But man, that was this like the card before that is really good. Like it opens up with Steven Regal.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, you got Steven Regal and Ricky Steamboat's the opener. You got Charlie Morris against Big Sky. Too Cold Scorpion against the Equalizer and Paul Orndorff. Ice Train and Shanghai Pierce. The Nasty Boys beat Arn Anderson and Paul Roma for the tag titles. That was when they were the Roma as the Horsemen. Cactus Jack and Yoshi Kwan, then Rick Rude and Ric Flair.
How dare you?
And you got the War Games match.
A War Games match that ended with a bear hug by the Shockmaster on Booker T. It was ridiculous.
Oh man, it was something. It was a match.
I know this because I had to.
The year after that is
with War Games when WWE was running it back in November. I think I popped on and was watching like as many of the War Games matches as I could, and I came across that one and I was like, man, this is either gonna be good or bad, and it was terrible.
So the year after that is Dusty and Dustin and the Nasty Boys against the Stud Stable, which was Terry Funk, Arn Anderson, Bunkhouse Buck, and Colonel Robert Parker. So two things about that match. One, that gave me what I think is the best Dusty Rhodes promo of all time. Like, better than Hard Times is that I need a son, I need a partner. Like, such a great promo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if not my favorite promo of all time, up there with one of my favorite promos of all time. But then also in that match, Robert Parker's wearing a white suit and he poops his pants in the match.
Oopsie.
And he's got the white suit on. And you can see that he dookie his drawers in the match.
What's that smell?
It's dookie. That's like
It's the greatest line from the greatest wrestling movie ever. So, fun fact, well, I just got to point this out. Eric is the first person, and I'm actually kind of shocked that no one else had ever picked up on this because this was a thing. We got the big boy named Hulk. I have 2 dogs, and the other one's name is Zeus. So before we go on the air, I'm explaining to Eric that this is going to be really interesting because I've got 2 dogs in one room versus being in a house. And he put the connection together that it came from No Holds Barred. Hulk and Zeus.
I guess in your case it's No Holds Bark.
No Holds Barred, yeah. My bad. Yeah. No Holds Barked.
Bark.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. So I had a Great Dane, and we named him Andre, like Andre the Giant.
Did the heels go up here? I was running my mouth.
Rock and Roll got a fall, so I think they're up 2-1 now.
We got to be approaching the end of this makeshift time because we know they don't go an hour.
Yeah, I mean it's they probably go about 45, 50 minutes. You can't shake too much time.
Oh, Dr. Tom face first off the post.
Yeah. Cornette's running from him.
Jimmy Cornette. I'll be careful, man. He's got that racket and he knows how to swing it sideways.
He will knock you out with it.
Bro, I'm going to bring that up in every Cornette match I watch moving forward. I'm telling you. That was vicious.
Yeah. This.
They have not stopped with the rock and roll chant, man. They're here for all this.
Oh. They have been in it the whole time.
I'm actually kind of shocked for psychology purposes that they went with the rock and roll pulling up the next fall. I kind of figured they would have went with the bodies to give rock and roll something to fight for.
You go 2-1, yeah. Because now you're just kind of in survival coast mode,
Mm-hmm. And the crowd's red hot. Imagine if that
Yeah.
little detail would have been different. how much louder they
Ricky,
would
just
be.
taking time to high five a fan in the front row. Yeah. Roll. Rock and roll.
Do it again, Ricky. If you do it again, then
Yeah,
sure
he's
as
in the
that
ring
I will
post.
not have to deal with a gigolo strut. I'm actually kind of shocked that I've made it through the whole show here and we haven't seen one.
Oh. Camera is shaking around like crazy.
I'm gonna need for the cameraman to get the shit together. You're gonna make me
Yeah.
go get in the
Old
DeLorean
fan
and go
cam
back
here.
to '94 and slap him.
Let's go watch it myself.
Well, it guarantees that it makes YouTube. I know that.
Yeah. Oh, double figure
Double
fours.
figure four. Oh man, are they gonna go up 2 falls?
Oh, and Ricky was using the rope.
Cornette got the cheap shot into the back of the head with the racket. Here they go again. They're nuts for R&R, man.
Rock and roll. Oh, he's getting that shoulder up. I can't remember. No, I don't remember like what you would call this hold right here, where Ricky's got it on Jimmy Del Rey. But I was always a fan of that, like, especially drop the elbow and then go right into the hook in the knee.
I just call it like a leg scissor. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. You're scissoring up one leg.
Yeah. Scissor that leg harder. Oh, he just stomped. That's a straight up stomp.
Got a toe hold here. Is Robert going to go
Ricky.
back to the figure four?
Yeah.
No.
Ricky with the little jumping jacks. 15 minutes remaining. I'll have to step away here for just a minute. I'll be right back. Oh, dropping that leg.
I'm watching the bodies take a beating here. You said he has a heavenly backhand, is that right? Goth. I see what you did there. Rock and roll's cut off the ring here. I still think that we missed the boat. I think we should. I think that the body should have went up 2-1. But I haven't seen the rest of this match either, so I don't know what the finish looks like. If the finish makes sense, then I'll get it. Trying to get to that tag. Come on, Dr. Tom. Reach a little further. Tag made. Ricky caught him. Oh, now they're situated. They're rowing the boat. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Uh-oh, is this going to be a DQ? Oh! This has been all rock and roll here the last few minutes. Going back into a leg scissor. Snap there. Got him with a knee drop. Body's chasing a fall. We're less than 15 minutes out from the finish. Tag was made. Del Rey still selling the knee.
50 minutes gone, 10 minutes remaining. With the Rock and Roll Express leading 2-1.
Ten minutes remain. You better push the issue if you're the Heavenly Bodies. You're going to have to pick up 2 falls. There comes Robert. Look, these Rock and Roll is taking some cheap shots and tactics here. Cover. This match has legit been like rest hold after rest hold. Ow. My knee hitting the table. We're less than 10 minutes out, Eric, and it has been a little bit of heat for the bodies, but nothing crazy. Oh, you're muted, bro.
What is it?
Oh, my bad. Said nobody gets smacked with a racket.
Not yet. Not since you've been gone. Since you've been gone. Sorry.
Get out of here. That popped in my head. It said that too. Is it still 2-1 rock and roll?
Yes, it is. And I was waiting to see if there was going to be a tie-up or something. Because I'm just not grasping why we would have the rock and roll not chasing here. Nick said less than 10 minutes.
That was a nice backbreaker.
Got a sweet little bald spot coming in, too, that I can pick up from this grainy fan cam footage.
This crowd is still into it.
Dude, the crowd's not died at all.
No.
But I mean, if I'm the bodies, you gotta turn this up because
Yeah.
chasing.
You gotta turn that heat on.
You're talking about hair care products for Mark Curtis. It just popped in my head. Do you remember the old Herbal Essence commercials?
Oh man, I do remember those. Those were
Could you picture old Curtis
those
in
were
one
staples. I can picture Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey in one of those.
Shut
Doing
your
his
face.
Gigolo dance while he's shampooing his hair.
Shut your face.
Oh man, that's a golden opportunity you missed out on Herbal Essence.
Be glad that I'm not in the house anymore, because I would yell at you. I can't do that anymore.
Oh, is he saying they didn't make the tag? It wasn't a legal tag? Oh, needed the back. Nope. We only got 5 minutes left. See, I thought Cornette was going to hit him in the back there. He's going to hit him here.
Uh-oh.
Oh!
Racket shot.
Oh, you could hear that, too. You could hear that on the camera. Oh, they tied it up.
Tied it up with less than 5.
Your winner to tie the match at 2 falls apiece, the Heavenly Body.
Ooh. Them headbutts hurting Jimmy a little bit there, too.
Hey, getting a little wobbly leg, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky coming back with his own headbutts. It's like, huh, anything you can do, I can do better.
Except for a gigolo dance.
Shut
Nobody
up.
does that better.
Nobody wants to hear about the gigolo dance. It's the worst thing in professional
Did we get to
wrestling.
see that while I was going?
There's a half gigolo dance.
Look, you're
right
gonna tell me
there.
that's the worst thing? Come on now.
It is totally the
Gigolo
worst thing.
dance.
All right, listen. Outside of the Yeti,
Oh.
it is the worst thing.
Oh, the Yeti. That was so bad.
Could always go back to the shark.
I'm not a fish, I'm a man.
My name's John Tenta. I remember that
John
promo.
Tenta, man, he was. I do too. I remember when they shaved half of his head and half of his mustache.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when he was Avalanche, and then they just kind of changed it to the Shark out of nowhere.
I'm not a fish. I don't swim under the ocean.
Oh, man.
I'm a man.
John Tenta was a good big man.
He was, and I really liked that storyline too because they gave him something to do. It gave him a reoccurring
That was
role with
it.
Bubba. Yeah.
That's like the only time he ever got anything to do in WCW.
If it didn't mean
And like a lot of people will.
didn't mean
Yeah,
jobbing to
go ahead, I'm
Hogan,
sorry.
Sting, or Savage.
Yeah. But I mean, working with those guys, you're still in a very good spot. Even if you are losing to them every night, you're in a very good spot. But a lot of people like hate on the Goga run. Like talk about how bad it was. But bro, they were. Oh man, that is nice. The reverse figure 4
Into a cradle
and bridge
pin,
back with this. I've seen the reverse. Yeah, I've seen the reverse figure 4, but I've never seen anybody back bridge into a pin like that. That was nice. I remember that was like Yuji Nagata's finisher forever was that standing reverse figure 4, but the back bridge was really nice. Oh, but anyways, back to Goga. So like a lot of people hate on that and talk about how, it wasn't right for Tenta to have to be under that mask and blah, blah, blah. But man, the oddities were over. Like, that was a time in wrestling where almost everything in WWF was over, but the oddities were over. They got to, they came out with ICP. They were booked pretty well. Like, so I really didn't think it was all that bad. And I mean, at the Attitude Era, you couldn't really have like an earthquake type gimmick in that era, So I think the Goga thing was a good way to use them, really.
I liked the oddities. I thought they were fun.
Yeah, they were fun. Like South Park was super big at the time, so of course he's a Cartman fan. Like I really didn't think it was all that bad. So we're tied up 2-2, right?
Yes. Oh.
Okay, so this isn't the one I was thinking of. The one I was thinking of, they're tied up going into like the last 30 seconds. There's something where the ref is like bumped or distracted, and Jim Cornette pulls out an oxygen tank. It's on one of them. And so they got the oxygen tank, and they got like revived and made a comeback from the oxygen tank. So this isn't the one I was thinking of.
They escape with the titles nonetheless.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ricky Morton. Yeah, Ricky landed on the challenge.
Sure did. Nice little promo there.
Yeah.
Go ahead and put a pause on that. This was a good little show, man. We didn't really have a whole lot of matches because we did watch the Iron Man match. I now understand why they went 2-1 with Rock and Roll. But I do think that maybe to build a little bit of suspense that they could have went 2-1 bodies and then had the Rock and Roll tie it up and then go into the finishing sequence similar to what they just had there, and it would have still made sense. But the crowd was red hot for it, like they always are for anything rock and roll in the South. And I don't think you could really go wrong.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me your thoughts on it.
Man, like I said, that's the definitive feud of Smoky Mountain to me, is the Heavenly Bodies and rock and roll. You had other big feuds there, but that's really the one that I always think of, and I think that's what most people think of, is rock and roll and the Bodies. All the matches were good, man. The crowd was into them. They chanted rock and roll for an hour straight. So, I mean, they're doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a good one. This was a fun one. We have a lot of things coming up on the channel. We got a lot of things happening. I don't know what we're gonna do next week. Are we gonna do a rivalry, a territory, Legends of Wrestling? We'll figure it out. What do you want to do?
I don't know, man. You put me on the spot right now.
Okay.
I don't know. Why don't you guys just comment and tell us what you want us to do, right?
Yeah, we can do that. Drop comments below. DD, we'll see you probably tomorrow for Wrestling Request Live with the sexiest man in the Netherlands, Goth. We'll be back Monday with Inside the Indies, 7 p.m. Guys, you don't want to miss this. We usually do a 2-hour show, 2.5. We're gonna be online for live, for 3 hours. We've got the last 3 Fringe Mania shows from Riot City Wrestling. We're going to watch them in succession starting at 7 p.m. And then next Thursday, we'll be back live with a spotlight show on future Beyond the Bell, Rico Gonzalez. And how about this little nugget? Rico's going to be with us live when we do the spotlight show. So, there he is right there
Awesome,
above my head. So we'll be doing that with him live, and then we'll be doing his Beyond the Bell down the road. But he will be here in the house. And then next Friday, do not forget, we have Skrilla the Great, 7 p.m. Eastern. We have a very special live stream with him. You don't want to miss anything that we've got going on here. Shout out to Hollywood Zap again for the raid. We appreciate that. I'm going to give you a follow as well. If I haven't already, and all you guys and gals that popped in chat, we'll be following you as well. Eric, what do you want to say to the people before we close it out?
Thanks for spending your Saturday morning with us. If you're like Goth, your Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, whatever you're watching on, thanks for being here. Thanks for liking the channel and subscribing. We really appreciate it.
And I've got to get prepped for the Travis Orndorff show that we're doing. We will be back on tomorrow, guys. I'm Paige. That's Lariat at Fireside Page, at Fireside Lariat over on Instagram, CCP _podcasting. We're doing some good things, and we'll see you soon.